my channel, Beautiful Bows and so much more. I'm Helen, and today I thought it would be a great chance to show you everything I've made recently. So with the summer holidays, I had things planned, but I didn't know how it would go. So firstly, I had a couple of challenges that I decided to take part in July, and I'll run through with you how I got on. The most recent video that I did, which I'll link up here for you so that you can go back and check out if you haven't already seen it, was about the Ogden Cami I made. And I mentioned it before, and I mentioned it again in that video. It was for the Instagram challenge, the Ogden Ida swap. So I won't go into too much detail about that, and I will pop a little picture or video for you so you can see how I got on. If you want to know exactly what I made and also how I made it, then check out my previous vlog, and that covers everything I did. But I've since made another Ogden Cami out of this rather gorgeous green 100% silk fabric that a lovely family member gave to me. I think they said it was from an old relative of theirs, like an aunt or someone who brought back from Thailand, and it looks absolutely gorgeous in this Ogden Cami. The weather's gone a bit yucky, so I'm not rushing to make any more, but it's definitely one of my favourite new patterns. So that was the first thing I said I would do, and that was for the challenge, so that had a timeline. The second challenge I was doing that also had a timeline was the sewing patterns and prints hashtag, which is run over on Instagram, and that is run by Purple Sewing Cloud, Voice of a Creative, and Sewn on the Tyne. Three lovely ladies that come up with a theme for the month, and they do one every month. And this is the first one I've entered, and this was Sewing Juicy July. So I made this lovely t-shirt, and for the juicy side of it, you can see is these pineapples. I made pretty much 90% of it on my overlocker. And I absolutely loved making this, and I've worn it a lot. It's actually the same pattern as this one I'm wearing here now, which is one of my favourites, which again, I'll put a link up to a previous video I did a review for. It's a new look pattern, and it is 6217, and it's such a simple t-shirt, and I absolutely love it. It is just two pieces, so the front and back, because it's got lovely grown-on sleeves. And this was the first jersey one I did, because it's meant to be woven. And you'll see all that if you have a look back at my review video where I showed you all the tops I'd made. The latest one, the pineapple one for the Juicy July, was my second one in jersey. And I discovered, not a new stitch, and probably lots of you had already knew what it was, but I'd never really used it before. But I will show you what I did for the hemming, which to me was a bit of a revelation. Just one second, I'll get the t-shirt. Okay, so I usually would do jersey as zigzags around the cuffs and the hem. I don't have a cover stitch machine. I think they're a little bit out of my price range at the moment. But on this new pineapple fabric, I tried out, after I'd seen recommended by someone, the sleeves and the bottom hem with the triple stitch. So I'll see if I can insert a photo of what that looks like on your machine, or might look like on your machine. But I thought it came out really nice, so I just turned the hem up at the bottom, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. I did this triple stitch all the way along. There you go, you can see it a bit better there. And I know it's not a cover stitch, and it's probably not even that new to many people, but I'd never used it before. I absolutely loved I loved the finish it gave, and I can see me doing that a lot more on my jersey t-shirts, because I just think sometimes the zigzag doesn't look quite so neat. But that I absolutely loved. So that was a revelation to me. So I got that in on the very last day. If you follow my Instagram, you'd have seen I posted this Juicy July entry for me on the 31st of July. But yeah, I did do it. The two other challenges that I set myself, I haven't actually finished yet. So the first one, I've missed the deadline, but I still am going to do it. If you've seen my previous vlogs, you will see that I mentioned the British Heart Foundation did the Big Stitch Challenge. And again, I won't go into too much details because I have done a previous video, so do go check that out. But basically, I had a couple of tops, and I was going to refashion them in something else. I've missed the deadline, so I'm not rushing, but I'm definitely going to do that, because I think it's a great idea of how to reuse those clothes that people don't necessarily want anymore, or aren't maybe that fashionable. So I've got a couple of men's shirts, and hopefully I'll update you when I do get those finished. And the other challenge that is not due yet until the end of this month, so the 31st of August, is the sew a top. So hashtag sew a top, which was conceived by the lovely Claire over at Penguin and Pear. And she set that up for us sewing vloggers. And we basically just had to sew a top and then do a little video about how we got on. And I was doing the row me and come to a little bit of a standstill because I think I wanted to hack the back bow, which again I mentioned previously, so you probably know what I'm talking about. It's not gone very well, so I've put it on the back burner at the moment. So as of today, I don't know what top I'm doing, so I'm gonna have a rummage through my patterns, but that will be the next thing I make. So those are the two challenges that I just haven't managed to finish yet, but I will be finishing next, and they'll probably be in my next makes video. Then I had some things that I'd already cut out that I showed you before, and I planned to finish them all and get them shown, and I'm really pleased that I've managed to do that. The first one I was working on was a named pattern company pattern called the Kielo wrap dress. And I was working on this on Tuesday afternoons in my class. I didn't quite finish before we broke up for the summer, but I did finish at home, and I'm absolutely thrilled. I wore it a lot over the summer. It's so comfy and it was so easy to make. So I'll just put a little couple of pictures hopefully up here for you so you can see what I'm talking. The fabric was fantastic from our local shop here down in Plymouth. And I've even been in to see Lizzie, the lovely Lizzie, at Make down in the Royal Williams yard where I got this fabric from, and I've bought some new fabric and I hope to do a shorter version, and I think that would be really nice. And if I just pause this 1 second, I'll be able to find that fabric and I'll show you what I'm going to make my next kilo. Okay, so as I said, I'm planning to make a shorter one. I do like the maxi version, but I'm thinking I'm gonna chop it. There's a split in the back of the dress, so I'm going to chop it where that split would start, so it'll be kind of between the knee and ankle. And I've got this lovely fabric again from my lovely Lizzie at Make in Royal Williams yard, and it's got this sort of gold circles in it, you can see, but they're actually metallic, and then these big other circles, and it's really lovely and it's really soft. And I think as a shorter dress, that's going to be really nice, and I suspect I will wear that a lot. So the Kielo wrap was the first of my finished outfits that I had cut out and that I planned to make. And the second one I had cut out that I planned to make was the Linden sweatshirt. And I did this one again mostly on the overlocker. I do love the overlocker, except I did make a slight error, and you might be able to see in the photo, especially if you made Lindens before. This was the first Linden I made. I absolutely love the fabric. It's an alpine fleece that I got from Queen Bobbin on Facebook, and it's cozy and it's gorgeous and I love it. But when I made it, first time making the Linden, I didn't stay stitch around the neckline, and as I was stretching the neckband to attach, I think I was stretching the actual front and back of the sweatshirt as well as the neckband, so it's a bit gapier than I would like, but it's perfectly fine for me and I'm happy with it for my first attempt. And I've actually worn it on some chillier evenings in the house. So that's my Linden sweatshirt. That was one I'd had go on the go for quite a while because I was waiting on some fabric previously because I ran out when I was cutting out and didn't have enough for the sleeves. So that one's all finished as well. And then the last one that I had cut out was the Tilly and the Buttons Cleo pinafore. And I had this lovely slightly stretch denim from So Affordable Fabrics, and it's like a reddy pink, and I'll show you here. And I absolutely loved making this. I was really happy with how all the top stitching came out and how smart everything looked. Wasn't sure about the length. For those of you that have made it, there's like a mini length and then a sort of knee length. Don't really like things on the knee, but also at my age, being, you know, nearing that 50 mark, I don't also like mini on me. So I kind of did it in between. So I cut the longer one, and then when I made it, I chopped off a little bit, so it was in between the two sizes on the pattern, and I'm quite happy with that. And I can definitely see me making some again. I'm thinking I'll make some in some lovely baby cords with maybe patterns on as well, so it's not a plain one. So I did all three that I cut out, and I did those Ogden camis, and I did my Sewing Juicy July as well. So I'm really pleased with all my makes I've done. As I say, I have got the sewer top still to do, and I'm going to hopefully start planning that one on Monday. And then I've also got the 2 men's shirts to finish. But as well as that, I want to just have a quick look through my pattern selection and my fabrics and pick out a few other things to make. Oh, and also obviously that Kielo wrap. So I've got the Kielo wrap, the sewer top to finish, and the British Heart Foundation challenge, which is now just for myself, but still great. And then I'll start thinking about what else to make. I do hope you enjoyed seeing what I made, and I'm quite impressed with myself with a husband and 4 children home over the whole of summer that I got any sewing done, really, let alone actually as many as I did. And I have to say, I'm really happy with all the new makes that I've come across. They were all ones that have been on my list, and I've not been let down by how any of them turned out. And so I look forward to making loads more and showing you everything I make. And I will see you in the next video. I just want to quickly apologise. You may have heard some sound in the background of a young boy. My son actually woke up and started playing his video games as I was halfway through recording, and I didn't realise you could hear him, so I do apologise for that. It's the joys of being home and videoing while all my children are also home.